Howdy folks, and welcome to another exciting episode of Random Jank, the show that is most definitely not for beginners, and definitely not for people who feel the need to win every single match that they play. No, this is the show for guys like me, the guys that love playing around with the mechanics in the hopes that one day, finally, we might be able to win sometimes. So Magic Duels has been out for well over a year now, and it's been functional for at least 2 weeks. Many expansions have been released onto it. It's the free-to-play Magic game that is available on Steam and on the Xbox One. They decided to cancel it on PS4. Who knows why, but such is life. Unfortunately, you can't have every free game on every system. So, as a lover of Magic, as somebody who has longed to be able to find an affordable way to keep playing this hobby of mine, I've decided to load it up. Do have a deck already set up, so first, I'm going to show you the deck that I'm going to be using, because in all the episodes that I've put out, I haven't actually shown you guys how I play. I've just given you guys opinions on the different aspects of the game and different decks that I could use. But today, we're actually going to have an example of what deck I'm going to use. So, let's just get started. Okay, so this is the main screen, and what we're going to do, or at least at first, I'm going to show you the deck that I'm trying to use. You just hit left trigger over here, since, well, even though I'm playing on PC, I do like playing with my controllers. You hit left trigger, and you can actually see the decks. Now, it gives you a breakdown of speed, strength, control, and synergy. Naturally, mine are pretty average all around. I mean, it's a little bit on the low-key side, but I haven't had a chance to really get into this game too much and unlock as much as possible. But I do think I have a relatively solid deck. It is white-green. It focuses mostly on having human creatures, and I lucked out and managed to pull myself a Gideon from the core set from, I think, like 2 years ago. But just about every single creature I've got in here is a human that will affect other humans, or just trying to add +1/+1 counters to everything I've got. I have a little bit of removal in the form of reprisal, so if my opponent gets too big, I can just destroy him and not have to worry about him. But my favorite thing to do is to just keep my opponent's creatures on the field and avoid them. So since just about every single one of my creatures can either give itself or attempt to give other creatures a +1/+1 counter, I've got this, which on its own, and any other creature that has a +1/+1 counter on it that I control, it can only be blocked by one creature. Now, to add to the evasion, I've got 2 Rogue's Passages in here, so that in the long game, when I have a metric ton of mana out on the field, any one of my larger creatures is just flat out unblockable, and I've got every available source of dual lands for these 2 colors that I have from the cards that I have unlocked. So, let's go and see how badly this deck sucks. We're going to do solo battle, because I don't want to go accidentally online with people who have played far more than I have, and we are going to take our Random Jank MTG deck on medium. Easy. Quite frankly, it's a little bit too easy, I find, and you don't earn points fast enough, and hard. While in some games it did give you a true randomizer for your deck, I know in previous Duels games it was made so that only on hard mode did you get a true random shuffle rather than it giving you cards that you needed at the time that you needed it. But in this, I'm not too sure. I think they just fixed it to do that automatically because there's a huge emphasis on playing online. Okay, so we have 1 removal spell. We have enough mana to get us by. First strike, renown, if... Cool. And that is a human that can flip over to be something much, much more. We are actually going to keep this hand, even though our opponent is playing first. I'm not going to be able to get anything huge out right away, but that is fine. So most of these decks are going to be using cards that I have not had any chance to see whatsoever. Doesn't really matter what I bring out first in that case, because everything is unusable for the time being. On the bright side, I now have a little bit of time to gather my wits about me, so we're going to put that one out as well. And we are going to bring out, boom! A 2/2 creature that can't attack, or sorry, a 3/3 creature that can't attack unless I control a power 4 creature or greater. But if my opponent plays no spells, that is not going to be a problem. Also the fact that most of my creatures can give themselves +1/+1. Exile target artifact or creature and opponent controls until he leaves the battlefield. Well, it's a good thing I didn't actually cast anything useful in that turn. So now, we have all of our mana sources out there. Cast another 2/2 creature and see if my opponent has anything to go up against this. Hopefully it won't. Oh! Not too terrible, I can destroy it this turn. Not that I wanted to waste it that quickly, but hey, do what you can. Just to survive another turn. And now that this attack is going to go through, you're going to see that creature get a +1/+1 counter on it, which basically is just making it a slightly bigger first striker. And now, because it is renowned, every other creature that I have, when it attacks, will get a +1/+1 counter. Or will be able to attack with +1/+1. Oof, and he's got nothing! I don't know if I trust that. For the sole reason that he's got 4 cards in hand. Now, unfortunately, that ability only affects other creatures I control, and not... Turn target non-land permanent to its owner's hand and draw a card. Well, that's disappointing. That's okay, because I can just recast it this turn, and still have a mana, or enough lands opened to destroy anything big that he might have. Sack it, gain a life, draw a card. With a little luck, he's just going to burn through his deck with all these draw spells that he's got. But I've not exactly been known for luck. Okay, so I'm going to cast that creature, put a +1/+1 counter on a human that I control. I only control one other human. That's fine, because that is enough for strike damage that if he decides to block with everything, it's not going to matter. Or he's going to let it go through and allow my creature to get bigger. This I do not have a problem with. Whenever another human enters the battlefield, I put a +1/+1 counter on him. I just need more creatures now. So, anytime now. I have no idea what he has in his hand. I am more than a little confused. I will continue, and I will attack with everything in the hopes that damage goes through. Of course. Now, if only I had some black in here for some graveyard recursion, or if I just had flat-out better cards. This is the downside to playing with a limited card pool, is that you don't always have all the options available to you. So I'm seeing this guy playing all these different cards that I don't have. so I don't really have a defense against them either because I've never experienced them before. Granted, most of them are just, like, gain a life, draw a card, but honestly, that is not enough right now. Step. So I am going to destroy that creature before my untap phase, just so that I still have entirely too much land and nothing to do with it. Screw it, all-out attack. Why the hell not? So this deck, as you can plainly see, is not doing overly well. The problem is that A, it takes a little while for it to get picked up, and 2, I need to actually draw more creatures than lands right now, and I don't think it's a matter of me having too many lands in my deck, simply because I did a practice match earlier, and this is like the opposite problem of what happened. Like, I did not have enough lands, and I had all of my spells, so I think this game is just screwing with me this time around. And I can't attack because I'm just going to lose the one creature that I have. This doesn't help out enough. Actually, it would have helped out just enough. Damn it. Well, rather than be on the offensive. I think it still counts as blocked. It should still count as blocked. So at least I didn't take any damage on that, but I also didn't get any value out of it either. This is horrendously disappointing. Maybe next time I will play on hard, just to see if it fixes things up a little bit, because I clearly have enough lands on my field. My opponent has less lands than I do, although he does have those energy counters, which I'm still unsure what they do. Then again, he's also been getting those creatures out that have not done any good for me for the time being. Will he be able to put it on himself? I am very disappointed with how my deck is performing today. Yep, I just want to see if I can actually survive another turn. With a little luck, I mean, the big must attack every single turn creature is dead, but that doesn't really mean anything. And if these decks are all randomized, that would be nice to know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you now know why this series is called Random Jank, because my deck is very janky and doesn't work the way it's supposed to. This is now the second time that I have tried doing this. 3, 5, 7, 8. I have one turn left to live, and I'm gonna draw the worst possible card to draw when that happens. Oh dear God. Energy gives you an alternative way to cast a creature spell. You know what? I'm not going to do the skill quest because that's just going to be embarrassing. I may get some coins for it, but I'm definitely not getting coins for this here artifact that does nothing for me. Which would give +1/+1 until end of turn for each other creature I control. I control no creatures. I can't equip it on anything. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me utterly fail at playing Magic the Gathering. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see y'all next time. Because clearly this is the end of my time here. Yes, an absolutely, utterly embarrassing defeat at the hands of random opponent person. Thank you so much for watching our episode of Random Jank, and we'll see y'all next time.